Hello everyone, it's Warriors NRL Fanatics here. I hope you're all doing well. It's been a very long time since I've last done a YouTube live stream. Been a while since I've done an actual video on YouTube. Happy New Year to you all. Hope you all had a great New Year's and yeah, all the best to everyone in 2025. It's 2025 now and yeah, I hope you all had a great Christmas. Hope you're all having a great holiday, relaxation, rest. And yeah, looking forward to the 2025 NRL season getting underway real soon. We're now into January, and it won't be long till the pre-season fixtures get underway, and then we get into March with the first game of the season against the Canberra Raiders on Sunday, March the 2nd, at the Algarve Stadium in Las Vegas, in America. The Warriors taking on the Canberra Raiders down in Vegas. Looking forward to the game. I can't wait for it. Our first experience in Vegas. Unfortunately, I won't be going. Oh, because I can't afford to be going to America. But for those of you who are going to America, well, enjoy it, man. It should be a good experience. And who knows, maybe hopefully one day I'll be there in Vegas to watch the NRL in the near future. But yeah, look, hope everyone's doing well. If you got any questions you want to send through, feel free to send through into the live chat. This is just a first YouTube live stream of 2025. Any rugby league questions you have, any questions to the Warriors ahead of the 2025 season, feel free to put them into the chat. This is just a free-for-all show tonight. Nothing fully planned, so if you got any questions, comments, anything you'd like to ask me, feel free to do so for a live Q&A. I will chat about some other things around the Warriors world at the moment in terms of the off-season. We've just seen some photos of James Fisher-Harris in the Warriors jersey a couple of days ago on the Instagram. So it's awesome to see Fisher-Harris in those Warriors colours. And boy, I can't wait to see him suit up for the boys in our first game of the season. Really looking forward to it. The preseason, I'm not too sure how many games he'll get in the preseason. He may get that second preseason game against the Storm. I don't think he'll line up against the Sharks and Cronulla, but yeah, looking forward to seeing him. And also, we've had a few signings as well in the off season. I'll discuss them, go through them as well, because I didn't chat about them as it was on a bit of a holiday and hiatus on the channel with the break. So a few signings that we've had as well in the off season, with Tanner Boyd signing as well. Aaron Clark as well in the off season, also joining from the Gold Coast Titans. So that'll be really interesting to see how that all goes. Aaron Clark, obviously, is he going to be on the bench? Is he going to, is he going to be, on the bench, or is he going to be in the starting 17? So big question marks around what the Warriors team will look like in round one. And yeah, look, it should be really interesting because we've got some. We want to have a big season. 2025. Obviously, last year was very disappointing, not making the finals. There's some players that are going to be in for big seasons, and they will need to have big seasons, especially. It's going to be 2024. Is in the past, and 2025 is here, and it's about rebuilding, getting back to our best, and hopefully back into the finals this season as whole. So yeah, it should be this season for me is a very important one because it is a rebuilding year. And Webster, from what I'm hearing so far from Webster, that they really want to get back to their real best, the Warriors, in 2025. So fingers crossed that happens. I don't know where we'll finish this year. I can't give you guys like an exact prediction right now, but it's all going to depend on the how we go in the off season with the training and how we go in the trials. And from what I can see from that, is what I think would happen this year. So we shall see. But as you know, trials aren't the real form guide at the end of the year. It isn't the real form guide going into 2024, but it also gives you a bit of a guidance as to what the team has done in the training sessions throughout the off season as well. So yeah, so guys, if you've got any questions, comments, feel free to do so. Hello to Jason Reeder, hello to William Pearson, and hello to Westside as well in the chat. Hope you guys are doing well. And please, everyone, give this channel a subscribe. Subscribing to the channel does help the algorithm. It's absolutely free. It helps the channel. It's really gets the word about all the content. And yeah, just make sure you're liking the videos, sharing the videos, and subscribing to the channel. We want to try and get to the 3K subscriber mark. We're not there yet, but we want to get there real soon. So please help out the channel if you haven't. Hello to Alex123. Trial starting exactly 4 weeks. Not long. Yeah, absolutely not long until the trials get underway. And fingers crossed we don't get any injuries during the preseason. We want to see these players fully fit because it's so important going into our opening game against the Raiders in America. So yeah, looking forward to that. But injuries, you just hope that you don't get injuries. And then with the trials as well, it's all about, combinations. It's not about results. It's about combinations for me. Personally, I take no interest in the preseason trials. I'll be watching them, but I don't take too much emphasis on results, whether it's a win or a loss or a smashing or a win. You don't take too much into those trials, especially. So yeah, look, that's for me is what I don't look at trials. Some people, take too much investment into the trials emotionally. Like, if you win the trials, if you win every trial game, some people will talk up, will win, like grand final or something like that, win a premiership. But that's not what I'm looking into trials. Um, yeah, Jason Reader saying Roosters Warriors in round 3. Yeah, looking forward to that game, Jason Reader, and good luck to your Roosters this year. Should be interesting to see how they go, but obviously you guys have got some injuries, got some players out, but you still got a very good, decent side going to the season. West Side Auckland saying here, hope Luke Miku who stays injury free for the boys. He absolutely does need to stay injury free, and obviously going into this year we have the likes of Tana Boyd coming in. Now Tana Boyd is an interesting one. I think Tana Boyd is more a depth signing. Some people say he should be starting, but I think he is probably going to be one of those depth signings. Tamari Martin, you've got Tamari Martin, you've got Chanel Harris-David as well. There is some competition. He's going to have a bit of competition, Tana Boyd, again into the starting lineup. Then you've also got Luke Metcalf as well. So, that is the big question. Is Tana Boyd going to get a starting lineup spot for round 1 against the Raiders? Well, we shall see what happens in the trials. I personally, if I was picking my team right now, I'll probably go with Tamari Martin and Luke Metcalf as my halves, and that's the way I'd go. Some people probably say Tana Boyd in the halves with Luke Metcalf, but I think you've got to have Luke Metcalf in the halves. You've got to have him in the side altogether if fully fit. So I'm going to say that this year, I'm going to go out on a limb and say this year, Luke Metcalf, this is going to be Luke Metcalf's breakout season in 2025. And hopefully I haven't put the mocks on Luke Metcalf right here and saying it now, but I think he will have a big 2025 season. So fingers crossed. I really do have fingers crossed that he stays fully fit. And we've seen when Luke Metcalf is in the side, the Warriors are a totally different side. And we saw at the back end of the year when he came in, we started winning a few games. So, hopefully, fingers crossed. He has a really good season 2025, and he doesn't get injured. I really hope so, because that's my only biggest concern with Luke Metcalf is he's had a few injuries and he's got a bit of a, unfortunate history of injuries since he signed with us. He hasn't been able to play a full season. So, and we've got to remember as well, we've got some young players as well. And Alex has mentioned here that I've seen some people saying Tana Boyd as a 14, but I just don't understand it. Yeah, look, I don't see it, Alex. I really don't see it. I don't see Tana Boyd being a 14. You've got Dylan Walker there as well, guys. Don't forget we've got Dylan Walker in the side as well. So don't forget Dylan Walker's played a bit of 14 for us in the past. So I think my 14 would probably be someone like a Dylan Walker or Chanel Harris to read off the bench. Personally, I don't see Tana Boyd being that 14 type role. I really don't. Yeah, I just don't see it personally. Boyd's kicking game is on another level than the other four, important for field position. Says Naz. Hello to Naz. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, I mean, I know some people are saying that his kicking game's quite good. I understand that, but you've got the players that have been there and done it before. Do you go with the players that have been there and done it before, or do you throw in a ton of Boyd straight away into the mix? Look, it all depends if he has a strong preseason and off season. So if he has a strong preseason and off season and presses Webby, he could get into the side. But yeah, it all just depends on what he does. What he does in the off season, how he trains. How he impresses the coaching staff, the Warriors. But yeah, that's the big thing. That's the more importance of how he goes, like what he does. But yeah, so I think that's for Tana. He is probably the most important thing for Tana is how he fits into the club. Obviously, comes into a new environment. He's played for the Titans originally. He's coming to a new team, a new country. How he fits in, that is the big question. Some players have come to the Warriors in the past and not been able to fit in. And some players have fit in as well. So that's why I'm interested to see how Tana fits into the Warriors culture. What Webby wants from him as well. What does Webby expect from him? And how he goes about against with his teammates as well. So that's the most interesting thing. Yeah, Naz, hope Shuba, hope you're well. Yeah, I'm doing well, Naz. Good happy New Year to you, Naz Williams, as well in the chat. But yeah, for those of you just joining, just a little bit of a chat about the Warriors. Any Q&A. So any questions you have regards to the Warriors this year or the NRL leading into the season, put them into the chat and we'll answer them. This is just this is the first live stream of 2025. As you guys probably would know, that I haven't done any content in a while. Sort of been on a little bit of a break. Stay away from doing any videos or live shows. Just want to wait till 2025. So we're into 2025 now, and once we get into January, February, around March is when you'll see more videos and shows from me in regards to Warriors content. So yeah, make sure you like the live stream, everyone. Make sure you click that thumbs up button. Please like the live stream, share the video, subscribe, do all the following. We want to try and get to 3K subscribers. We're not there yet, but if you'd be much appreciated, it helps the channel, shows your support for the content. If you like, share, and subscribe, it's all much appreciated. But yeah, any questions you have, feel free to put them through. Guys, this is not a set stream, so I haven't got any general topics to talk about. But I just thought I'd just come on, have a chat with you guys, catch up with you guys, and see how you're all doing as well. But yeah, questions, comments, feel free to put them through into the live YouTube chat. We'll answer them as honestly as I can. And Edmund Duffy, how's it going? Says, what is your predictions for the top 8? Edmund Duffy, I don't want to review my top 8 because it's a little bit too early. But if I had a prediction straight off the bat right now, you'd probably say the teams that made top 8 last year will probably be still in there again this year. But bearing the Knights, I have the Knights not making it this year. And I think the Bulldogs will probably still be there as well. There's a couple of teams I can see dropping out. Obviously, I'm going to back my boys to make it this year, but look, obviously I'm going to back the Warriors to make it in 2025. But other than that, I don't have a set top 8 just yet, but I think the teams that are really interesting this year, the likes of your Broncos, obviously under Maguire, new coach. The Raiders will be an interesting team this season as well. Penrith will be interesting to see how they can, back up. Well, the last 3 years in a row, right? How can they back it up? They've lost Luai as well. They've lost a bit of experience, lost Fisher Harris as well. So that'll be interesting to see. But honestly, I'm hoping that this year we see someone else win the premiership. In all honesty, I just hope we see someone different win it. Anyone, but Penrith this year, please, because it'd be nice to see someone different win the comp as a whole. Yeah, Edmund Duffy says Broncos should be better. Yeah, look, they should be better, but I said that last year. And I thought they would be a top 4 contender, and they didn't make it. Right? They were absolutely disappointing. Them and the Warriors, both of our team, both the Warriors and the Broncos in 2024, were probably the most disappointing teams in the last year. So last season. So yeah. Hello to Nangaramu. Apologies if I pronounced that wrong. Have you got anything on the Indigenous All Stars game in February? No, I don't. I don't actually have any info on it, but I think that should be a really interesting game. You know, I've always enjoyed the Māori All Stars versus Indigenous All Stars game, and I think that game is I think it's in Sydney this year. Correct me if I'm wrong, but from my memory, I think it's in Sydney again this year. But yeah, it should be an interesting game. You know, they always are a good watch. Indigenous and the Māori All Stars games, I actually enjoy watching them, and the culture side of things as well. And I know some people aren't. You know, some people are a bit iffy on the culture stuff, but you know, I absolutely love it. As the same was hoping Leo Thompson was coming home to the Warriors. Oh well, yeah, nah, because the Bulldogs have signed him, and what a huge signing that is for the Bulldogs. Next year, actually, not 2025, but 2026. It's a massive signing for the Bulldogs. The Bulldogs again, building a very strong side. I don't honestly know where they get all this money from, to be honest, but man, they're building a strong side altogether as well. So yeah, and look, I think this year, you know, if you're looking at who probably is the favourite to win the NRL comp, I think it's the Storm. Everyone's saying not the Storm. Well, look, I think the Storm are definitely contenders to win the premiership this year. I think they're the premiership favourites. Obviously, going down to Penrith in 2024 in the grand final, and I think they'll be a lot stronger. They've got a very nice team there, Bellamy as well, and I think the Storm will be up there this year. I think they will definitely be up there as a whole. But yeah. Yeah, so guys, if you haven't done so already, please like, share, and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Subscribing helps the channel. We're trying to get to 3K, so please hit that subscribe button. Subscribing is absolutely free, everyone, so don't forget that. And I'm sharing this stream video also gets the content out as well. And Alex is saying Leo Thompson is not worth 825k. Bulldogs paid massive overs. Yeah, look, it is quite a lot of money, is it? It's a lot of money, to be honest. You know, you look at the fact that if you're going to pay a lot of, well, he's a great player. Don't get me wrong, he's a great player, Leo Thompson. But 825k is a lot of cash. It's a lot of cash for a player like Leo Thompson. But yeah, he's a quality. Don't get me wrong, but I think it is quite an amount of money, isn't it? It's quite an amount of money for me. But yeah. Hello to number 0 saying here you're starting back rows 11, 12, and 13. Yeah, look, I think probably if your back row would probably be like Mitchell Barnett, Fisher Harris. My lock would probably be Tohu Harris. I think that'd be my lock. And my second row, I'd probably have the likes of Jackson Ford in there. Yeah, that'd be my forward pick at the moment. So yeah, that's off the bat. If I had a quick thought about it, but yeah, that would be my full pick right now. And Naz is saying yes, good point. Yeah, exactly right. But yeah, so if I think for me this, if you look at what is important for the Warriors in 2025, going into the season, is keeping players fully fit because last year we weren't able to do that. We had a lot of injuries. Now, injuries, personally, I think were a big factor in 2024 for us. If you looked at the team that we had, we couldn't line up with the same spine each week. So we had the likes of Tane at fullback. We had Chance at fullback. We had Roger at fullback. We had a different centre pairing each week. Our halves are a lot different all the time. We need a consistent spine and fullback in order to do some damage, in order to be a finals team this season. I think fullback is an interesting one. Obviously, Chance last season, personally, I thought he was a bit of a, probably wasn't one of his best seasons. Obviously, the year before, he had a great season. This talks about RTS. What do you do with Roger? look, I think your centre pairings, you got to look at the likes of Berry, Leotawa. I think for me, those are probably your starting centres right now. Chance, what do you do with Chance? You keep Chance at fullback, you move him to centre. It's a big debate. It's a big debate for me right now. So, yeah, I think at the moment, Chance probably be staying at fullback. I personally would love to see Tane get another opportunity. I love to see Tane start, but I think what Webby's going to do is he's going to keep Chance at fullback. And he probably put likes of Roger on the wing. And look, my halves would probably be, Luke Metcalf and Tamara Martin. That's the way I'd go. The bench is going to be interesting. What are you going to do with your bench as well? You got your likes of your Dylan Walkers. You got to don't forget we've got a lot of good young upcoming forwards as well. Who'll be punching to get into that team. Your likes of Zion Maus, Jacob Labens, Leka Haliasimas as well. So we've got plenty of players that we can look in to get into the side. I don't know, I don't know whether they're going to, get many opportunities. You'd hope they'd get many opportunities. You've also got Jet Cleary as well, which I don't think he'll get at first grade opportunity this year. I think you'll see him a lot in New South Wales Cup and the young pathways teams. But yeah, I think at the moment it's a big talking point with the lineup. Fisher Harris as well, man. I know what Fisher Harris is going to bring. He's going to bring plenty to the table in terms of your experience as well. Obviously, their captaincy. The big talking point is who's going to be the captain this year. And I think the thing with the likes of your Tohu Harris is this year, I think he's under a bit of pressure. I think he's personally under a bit of pressure. Look, I know people love Tohu Harris. He does get a lot of criticism because he's a great leader, he's a good player. Don't get me wrong, but I think this year, if you look at a lot of the younger players, putting their hand up, I think he's under a bit of pressure. I think Tohu Harris is under a bit of pressure. He's getting a lot older now. He's had a lot of injuries last year as well. So I think the biggest thing is will Tohu have the captaincy this year? Look, personally, I would give the captaincy to Mitchell Barnett. I think Mitchell Barnett did a great job in that role last season. I know some people were saying Fisher Harris and that, but look, Fisher Harris has just come to the club. I wouldn't personally give him the captaincy right now. I think you've got to give it to someone who's established in the club already, and I want to give it to Fisher Harris. But look, Fisher Harris could play a bit of a role as in like a co-captaincy sort of role, maybe in the background. But I think if you're giving captaincy, you got to give it to Mitch Barnett. I think Mitchell Barnett needs to be the captain this year. That's I've strong thoughts and opinions on that because I think he'll do the job. Obviously being a player of Mitch's calibre, New South Wales last year, which was fully deserved, Player of the Year for the Warriors as well. You can't say, any negatives about what Barnett brought last season. And I think he'll go to greater heights this season as well. With Fisher Harris as well at the club. Yeah, by the time Jet's ready for first grade, he'll be on the plane home to partner his. Yeah, I mean, look, you never know there, Naz. It's possible, because a lot of the players that come to the Warriors, they save a couple of seasons and then they leave, right? It's pretty straightforward. Unless he loves it in New Zealand, unless he does sort of love it in New Zealand and he wants to stay longer, then, well, hopefully he does. But if he doesn't, then it is what it is, So, Edmund is asking the question who would replace Montoya. Look, I think to replace Montoya on the wing you're talking about, I think RTS will go there. I think Roger will go to the wing. Because for me, I think he's probably the only other option I would go with right now. I know some people may question that one, but I think if you're going to replace Montoya, you're probably going to put RTS there on the wing. RTS in the centres cannot work. it cannot happen again. It just cannot. Last season it didn't work. He was just a waste here in that position. You just can't put him in centres. You just can't put him in centres this year because it was a complete disaster, in my opinion. It just didn't work out. It just didn't work out for me. So you can't have Roger in the centres this season. The centres are going to have to be Berry and, Leotawa. Those are going to have to be our centres pairing moving forward. Mind you, Jet was born here, so it's kind of been home. Be funny if he played for the Kiwis one day. Yeah, true. He definitely was. He was born actually in New Zealand. So the funny thing is, he is eligible to play for the Kiwis. So hey, who knows? There may be maybe one day, we might see him in a Kiwis jersey. But right now, look, it's all about development for Jet, right? It's all about development. He's only young. He's a very young player. So we can't be rushing him into developing into first grade. If when he's ready, he's ready. And he'll be playing, a lot of the New South Wales Cup and a lot for the junior pathways teams as well. So it'd be interesting to see how he performs this season in those colours, in our colours, whether it be the pathways team or whether it be, the New South Wales Cup team, because you give him a couple of years and then he'll be ready. I don't think he's ready right now, but he will be ready in the future. No doubt about it. But yes, yeah, guys. So make sure you like the live stream. For those new viewers tuning in who's just jumped on, if you're wondering what this live stream is about, it is a Q&A. So if you've got any Warriors related questions, I know there's no footy to really digest, but yeah, I thought I'd just come on, have a hello to all the viewers. Hope you're all doing well and having a good start to the new year. I thought I'd just jump on, have a chat with you guys, and yeah, if you've got any questions, comments, feel free to do so. This is no general topics to really discuss. It's just me jumping on, having a chat. And no doubt about it, there'll be more to talk about come closer to the season with January, when February and March hits, and we've got more to discuss as a whole. So yeah, but yeah, so you guys got any questions, feel free to put them through. I'll stay on for a little bit longer. Please, guys, make sure you like the live stream if you haven't done so already. Hit that like button. Make sure you click the thumbs up button. And don't forget to subscribe. Subscribing to the channel is absolutely free as well. It's much appreciated. Shows your support for the content. We want to try and get to 3K. So please help the channel get to 3K subscribers. We want to get there real soon. But yeah, Edmund Dusty's asking a question here. Who do you think will step up for the younger players? Who do I think will step up for the younger players? Well, a player that I don't know if a lot of people have heard, and I've really I mentioned this on my Instagram page, is Toby Crosby. Young Toby Crosby is a player to look out for in 2025, I personally think. So those of you who don't know, Toby Crosby, he played for our juniors team last year in the Pathways team, and he also featured for the New South Wales Cup team as well in 2024. So for those of you who haven't seen, well, go check out his highlights as well. And he also did a chat with the Warrior Holic. So shout out to the Warrior Holic. He did a interview with the Warrior Holic on his YouTube channel. And yeah, he's a very good young prospect. He's a big fella as well, big unit as well, and plays in the forwards. So yeah, I'm going to say that Toby Crosby is a player to watch out for in 2025. Whether he gets into the first grade side, I'd probably say there's a chance. You never know. You never know with injuries, suspensions. We've seen that last year. We've had a few debutants for the Warriors with the younger guys. So you just never know. That maybe he might have an opportunity this season to come into the side for his debut in 2025. But I rate him very highly. He's a player that should be looked out for this season, and hopefully the Warriors can keep him for a bit longer, because once you see these younger players, the Aussie clubs will be, hunting in drones. They'll be hunting in drones for sure. So, yeah. Hello to Daniel from the UK. How's it going, Daniel Bate? Happy New Year. Hope you're doing well. And he's saying very interesting to see how the Warriors will go this year. Yep, it will be very interesting to see how we go, Daniel. I will be doing like a video, a live stream for all my NRL letter predictions. They'll be coming up over the next couple of months. So you'll see my full predictions for the season ahead coming up. But yeah, I am hoping we can turn around what was a disappointing 2024 into a much better 2025, because 2023 showed some promise, and in 24 was just a downright disappointment. And I'm not going to lie with that one. It was a downright disappointment because we all expected, this team to be finals team, and it wasn't the case. But yeah, should be interesting to see how it all goes, Daniel. And I'm real excited for this coming NRL season as a whole. But yeah, Daniel Bates saying good. It's good to hear. Yeah, that's great. Looking forward to it. And Edmund Duffy's saying here, Tane at fullback. I mean, I'd love to see it. I personally would love to see Tane at fullback, but what does that mean for Chance? Do you drop? You're not going to drop Chance to go Cookstad, are you? Look, his form wasn't great last year. Don't get me wrong, but you wouldn't drop Chance, and then you got RTS as well. So luckily I'm not Webster. Luckily I'm not the coach. Like I'm just a fan giving my opinion. So. Yeah, I don't know. Like, Tane, I feel Tane's talent is wasted in New South Wales Cup. I think he deserves to be in first grade. And I think he deserves to be given more opportunity in first grade, because you saw what he did for us when he was in the first grade side. He had some great games for us, especially against the Panthers in Magic Round, which was my highlight last season, watching him in action live. But we've also lost some players as well. With the likes of Paulie Roach, which Paulie Roach, man, that was a sign. That was a come out of nowhere departure, because Paulie Roach is a very good young player. And I was very gutted to see that he's going, because I was a big fan of his brother over the years. And his brother had a few very unfortunate injuries. Injuries that cost him so much game time when he was at the Warriors. Nathaniel Roach, and Paulie Roach, I thought, when he was playing for us last season, albeit limited opportunities. To see him go, he's signing with my local club, the Burleigh Bears on the Gold Coast here, so we'll definitely be able to see a lot more of him live here. But obviously, sad to see him leave the Warriors as well as a whole. So I just like to wish him all the best as a whole as well. But other than that, the players that have just left, the likes of Fanua Blake and that. Look, don't get me wrong, James Fisher-House is a great inclusion to the side. But we've got to underestimate that Adam Fanua-Blake is the biggest blow. It's the biggest loss for the Warriors as a whole. What he brought to the table, his post-contact meters, the tries he scored, the meters he gains on the field. Fisher-Harris is a totally different player to AFB. He's a totally different player. So, look, I still feel like AFB is going to be the biggest loss heading into 2025. But we're lucky that we got Fisher-Harris, because if we didn't get Fisher-Harris, boy, we are, relying on our younger players to come through and fill the void. And that's going to be tricky. So, having Fisher-Harris there is going to be great. But I think Fanua Blake being the biggest, going to the Sharks, I mean, that's a big inclusion for the Sharks. It's a massive inclusion for them, because that helps boost their forward pack even more. And yeah, look, it's going to be up to the younger guys to do very well, come in and step up and do the void. Fisher-Harris coming in as well. There's going to be a lot of pressure, right, on some of the players this season to perform and step up, I personally think. They're going to have big seasons, because, if we want to be a finals team, a lot of those players are going to have to have big ones. They're going to have to have big seasons. Your Chancellor Klukstads, Fisher-Harris's, Metcalf, Tamari Martins, all those players need to step up this year. They need to have a good year this year. Otherwise, it's going to be tricky for the Warriors to jump into those finals positions on the ladder. And I think this year the expectations are a lot lower than what they were last year, but I still do hope that we make finals. And that's the biggest question. That is the biggest thing that I hope for this season. hoping we make the finals. Want to see some players blooded in and come in and, get some younger players been brought into the table. That's what I would love to see personally. Daniel, apologies. Apologies if I've missed a question here. So Daniel's saying here, who are the big ins and outs? I've not really looked out for. Are you happy with both? Well, look, the biggest in is obviously Fisher Harris. We've also brought in Tana Boyd as well and Aaron Clark. Those are our ins, and obviously the biggest outs are AFB, Sean Johnson, who's retired. So, who's going to step up to the plate now that Sean's gone? We need our halves to step up. We need the likes of your Tamari Martins, your Luke Metcalfs to have a big one, because Johnson's a big loss. Look, I know last year Johnson didn't have a great year. He wasn't form-wise, wasn't great. He had some injuries as well, but still, it's experience, that you've lost with Sean Johnson and his kicking. You're going to miss that. But Tamari Martin, Luke Metcalf, in the halves, Shania Estevita or your Tana Boyds, or those guys will need to have a big void this season. So obviously you've also lost Montoya as well. Look, I think Montoya has been a great servant to the club, but I think he was probably going to leave sooner or later, going back to the Bulldogs. So, look, other than that, I think there's not too many players that I think, the biggest blow for us this season, because, Fisher Harris in, great. Then you obviously got Tana Boyd coming in, great. But other than that, I think that's pretty much all I could, sum it up. And Daniel's just saying here, Fisher Harris, obviously Fisher Harris, just wondering. You had a Kiwi, right? How did you end up in Australia? Well, I moved here on the Gold Coast in 2010. Been here ever since. So that's my journey. I'm born in Auckland, obviously. Lived in Auckland for majority of my life. Moved in 2010, and haven't left since then. So that's my general journey. And I've been a Warriors fan since I was, since I've been a child. Been a Warriors fan since I was a kid. So, and I was when I was in New Zealand, I went to a lot of the Warriors games at Mount Smart. I went to the Warriors game earlier this last year. At Go Media when we took on the Knights, and that was my first trip to the Go Media Mount Smart Stadium to watch the Warriors Knights at Mount Smart in a few years, because I've never been back there in ages. So. Yeah. But been a Warriors fan ever since, ever since I was a kid, and that's never changed, right? It's never changed. But guys, if you've got any more questions or comments, feel free to do so. I've got 10 viewers here. I've got a pretty decent audience for the first live stream of the year. So if you haven't done so already, please give the stream a like if you haven't done so. If you're on the way out or you're watching it back, make sure you hit that thumbs up button. And also, please, guys, help the channel out. We want to get to 3K, and we haven't got there just yet. We've been stuck on this 2,800 mark for quite a while, so help us get to 3K subscribers. We want to push to 4K. So, help the channel out subscribing. Just click that subscribe button if you're a new viewer. It's absolutely free. It really helps the channel. It helps the algorithm of the channel. We want to get the channel out. Push this channel out to more viewers, more fans, Warriors content-wise. There'll be plenty of content coming, over February to March, which is when all the footy stuff starts to take shape. But please help the channel out. Can't think of any more. Have a good week. No worries, Daniel. All good. Absolutely. You two have a great week as well. I think that covers it, because I haven't seen any more comments in the stream. Oh, hello to Luke Melbourne Stormer who's just joined. Hello to you. Hope you're doing well. Happy New Year to you, Luke. Daniel was saying, I've liked the stream. I sometimes forget. So any viewers who haven't, please hit that like button. Liking the videos shows your support for the content. It's much appreciated. And it's absolutely free. All you gotta do is click that click that big thumbs up button. Just click that thumbs up button. Liking the live stream is really helpful to the channel. Oh, hello to Rich in the chat. Yeah, good to see you, Rich. It's been a really long time. Happy New Year to you, bro. Hope you're doing well. So I might just stay on. Actually, yeah, no, I'll stay on for a few more minutes. A few more minutes, and then we'll jump off. This was only going to be a short stream, so yeah. Look, obviously we'll have a lot more to talk about. So you know, as the footy season gets underway, so there'll be more to discuss. I will be doing. I will be trying to bring on some people as well, like I usually do. We'll try and get Andy back on the channel. Try and get a few things planned for the off season. A few special guests, as you guys know, the regulars that have been on here before. Daniel's saying here, will you be keeping an eye on the Super League this season? Daniel, to be honest, the time zone makes it really tricky for me to tune into Super League games. And a lot of the games aren't live here in Australia. There are some selected ones on the Fox League. Plus the hours, you know, the time zone's a bit ridiculous. So I will try and stay tuned and up to date with the Super League. I do like the Super League as a whole. I think it's a very good code. I know a lot of Australians, you know, a lot of Australians don't like it. You know, some people criticise it a lot. But yeah, we'll try and tune in if I try and watch some Super League if I can. But if I can't, we'll be keeping an eye on the scores and, you know, looking out for the highlights and that. So yeah, just the time zone is just really, really tricky. For me to watch the Super League. But yeah, look, I don't have a team. Obviously, I don't have a team. I'm just a neutral watching Super League. Obviously, I'm just focusing on my team here, the Warriors, at the moment. So yeah. Other than that, I think pretty much that's it. I think that pretty much wraps it up, guys. I think we'll end it here. Actually, you know what? Rich has got a question here. We'll answer this question. So yeah, look, he's asking here, top 3 must for a club in Vegas. Top 3 musts for us in Vegas, right? The first thing I'd have to say would probably be we've got to get the 2 points. We've got to win our first game of the season. I personally feel like that, you know, we're going over to Vegas. We can't treat it as a holiday. We're going to treat it as a normal NRL fixture. And, you know, look, it isn't quite normal because it's not in Australia, but it's still, you know, a game. We're still playing for 2 points and we need to win. So, look, first things first, we've got to get the 2 points. We've got to win the game. Second point of the for Vegas is we've got to come out of Vegas with no off-season dramas, right? No off-season dramas. And the third thing is Webster has got to make sure these players come from Vegas and they're not we don't have any injuries coming out of that game. So those are my 3 must things for the club heading into Vegas this season. You know, we've got to do all the following. We've got to get these 2 points. And the Raiders as well is a tricky game to kickstart the season because the Raiders always have good games against us. They're always tough games physically as well because the Raiders have such big forwards. So look, I think the game is going to be a really exciting game, and it's a game I'm looking forward to the most. No doubt about it. Cannot wait for it. Really cannot wait for it. And the game actually kicks off at 10 o'clock in the morning here on a Sunday for me in Queensland. So great time to kick off a game of rugby league at 10 a.m. in the morning. It's unusual. It's unusual to have a rugby league game at 10 o'clock in the morning. Usually it's at night. Usually it's at the afternoon. But 10 a.m. in the morning to watch the Warriors take on the Raiders is a good time on the Sunday to watch the boys play. So, yeah, can't wait for it. Really can't wait for it. Daniel was saying, remember, it's a business, not a jolly. Yeah, exactly. And well, look, you know, going to Vegas, personally, I wasn't a big fan of it at the start last season. You know, I was a little bit skeptical about it. I was quite negative about it. But after watching it last year, I actually thought it was great. I thought it was a good idea. I changed my tone, changed my mind. And, you know what, I can do that. You know, you can change your opinion with time to time. But, look, I think it's going to be a great experience for the boys to go over there. You know, witness America. Some of the players have never been to America before. It's going to be a first for the club as a whole. So, yeah, it's going to be really enjoyable. I've seen an article that Webby mentioned that they're going to be, making sure they do the travel well. They're going to prepare very well. They're going to do sort of, how they do it with the, training sessions and that. So yeah, it sounds like they're going to take this game real serious. They're going to take the preparation real seriously, and that's good to hear because obviously being the travel from New Zealand to Vegas, it's a bit of a bit of a big trip. It's a big trip, no doubt about it. Um, I love to go. It'd be amazing. Yeah, it would be. Yeah, to those that are going to Vegas, enjoy it. I'd love to go, but can't afford it. It's quite pricey. It's quite a pricey trip, but who knows? Maybe one day. Daniel's saying eventually they'll make it to Oz myself. Yeah, Daniel, you've definitely got to come over to Australia. Look, if you're coming to a game over in Aussie, you've got to come to Magic Round. Magic Round at Suncorp Stadium is a must. For any NRL fan in particular who has not been to Magic Round. Whether you're in New Zealand, you want to come to a Magic Round, or you're overseas, Magic Round's a must. It's a must for all NRL fans. Obviously, state of origin as well. If you're big on your state of origin, Queensland, New South Wales, there's another big attended event. But yeah, look, Magic Round's a must for sure. It's a huge day. It's a huge event. All 3 days. It's a big day out in Brisbane at Suncorp. It's a highlight of the year. It's a highlight of the year for me. Rich is saying here, play to watch. Play to watch. Player to watch. I said this a bit earlier, Rich. Player to watch for me for this season's got to be well, look, if you're looking for a young player to watch, Toby Crosby out of the Young Pathways. But for this season as a whole for the Warriors, it's the first grade side. I'll probably say player to watch is Luke Metcalf. Luke Metcalf is the player to watch for me this year. Because look, I'm a real big fan of Luke Metcalf. I am a massive fan of him, and when he went down injured against the Knights, when I was there, I was so gutted. I was so gutted to see it. Because I think the combination with him and Johnson was starting to click. And those two didn't play together a lot, unfortunately, but it was starting to click. And then, he got injured, and then, obviously we had a lot of issues there with our halves. We were playing so many different combinations each week. So Luke Metcalf is my player to watch in terms of senior player this year. And yeah, Toby Crosby is a young player coming through the pathways this year. Is my player to watch as well. So in terms of Metcalf, he's the one to watch for me. Daniel's saying my choice would be a big game at Suncorp. To be honest, the Broncos game, yeah, that wouldn't be a bad option as well. And the Broncos, Broncos games at Suncorp are great sellouts for sure. They're good to watch. I love going to the Warriors Broncos at Suncorp, Warriors versus Dolphins at Suncorp. They're good crowds. Yeah, Cowboys Broncos. That's a good shout out. It's a good shout too. For one of the games to go to. If you wanted to go to a game in Australia in Queensland, a Broncos Cowboys match is a good game. Also South Sydney Rabbitohs versus Roosters match in Sydney. Although I've never been to a Rabbitohs Roosters game live, I'd love to go to a Rabbitohs Roosters game live in Sydney one day. Oh, CJ Moxley, how's it going, bro? Hope you're doing well yourself. Happy New Year to you in the chat. Yeah. Well, look, I think I've really covered it. Of this. I said in the chat earlier. I thought I'd jump on, and do a bit of a chat Q&A. There's probably not a lot happening, of course, to discuss. So you guys probably coming on here think I've got thousands of things to discuss, which is not the case. I thought I'd just jump on. No initial plans or any topics to discuss, and thought I'd just jump on general Warriors chat, Q&A, questions. But yeah, looking forward to March. Looking forward to March around the end of February is when all the footy starts to come into gear with the trials, the preseason challenge, the All Stars match, and then of course we've got the NRL kicking off in Vegas in March, which is really exciting. Really exciting stuff because, look, no doubt about it, the off season is, tough because as a content creator, there's not really much to put out in terms of content. But also, as a footy fan, you miss the general vibe of footy. Don't get me wrong, the cricket's been great. Other sports have been great. Enjoying a bit of the football, the Premier League. Although my team's not doing too well this season. But yeah, look, other sports I'm enjoying. There's a bit of tennis coming up as well. So, but look, still, footy is the main thing you look forward to the most, and I can't wait for the season. I really can't. Really looking forward to it as a whole. Yeah, just bring on the season already, man. Off season's just too long. It's too long. It's too long. Despite me having a lot of bit of other sports to enjoy, but still want the footy to be back. Yeah, yeah, definitely Rabbitohs Roosters, and CJ, you're welcome to come down. Yeah, well, look, one day, hopefully one day. Unfortunately, I just can't afford to be going down to Sydney at the moment, but I'd love to be going down to Sydney to watch a footy game with you guys. Footy number one always, yeah, absolutely, it's always is. Always is footy is always number one, man. I love my sport. Everyone should know that I follow a lot of sport. Not just Warriors, NRL. I just like to digest and everything, every sport that I can watch that I can. Yeah, CJ thought we gave Villa a good game. Yeah, thought you did too. I thought it was a very good showing by Leicester. Yeah, you boys are trying to get out of that relegation spot. So fingers crossed you guys can get out of there, because it'd be good to see Leicester stay in this Premier League for another season. Yeah, unfortunately fell short. Yeah, you definitely did. Daniel Bates says we'll take the 3 points. Yeah, well, yeah, exactly right there, Daniel. But yeah, I don't think there's much more to cover up on. Thanks to those thanks to those who've tuned in live, or if you're watching it back later. Appreciate you all. Guys, please give the stream a like if you haven't done so already. Actually, click that thumbs up button. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so. We're trying to get to 3K subscribers. We're not quite there yet. We want to get there real soon, guys. It's been a bit of a slow burner, this channel. This channel's taking a bit of, it's not quite growing as it used to be, but I'm still here trying to do the content for everyone. So yeah, subscribing is absolutely free. It helps the channel, and it's much appreciated as well. But thanks everyone for watching. Have a good rest of the night. Have a good rest of the week. Up the WAHS, go the Warriors. And yeah, we'll see you guys all soon for another live stream or another video. Have a good one. Up the WAHS. And thanks to everyone for watching. Cheers, Daniel. Cheers to the viewers who were in here earlier as well. But yeah, have a great one, everyone. Up the WAHS. Subscribe to the channel, please, everyone. We want to get the 3K. I know I keep repeating it, but I want this channel, trying to get this channel to grow as I can. And look, plenty of Warriors content to come over February to March, which we'll see more videos, more live streams, a few collabs. We'll try and get a few sussed out during the off season as well. Some previews and chats for the season ahead. But have a good one, everyone, and we'll see you all in the next one. And all the best in 2025, everyone.